Po was never supposed to win. That's how the story presents it. He's clumsy, out of shape, and always a step behind. Not the strongest, not the fastest, not even close to being ready. If anything, he's the last person you would ever expect to become the Dragon Warrior. When we first meet Po in Kung Fu Panda, he's not training, he's not fighting, he's serving noodles. Dreaming about something bigger, sure, but still completely outside of it. Kung Fu isn't his world. It's something he watches from a distance, something other people are allowed to be part of. He looks up at the Jade Palace like it's a place he can admire, but never reach. And deep down, he already believes that. And then, somehow, he's chosen, the Dragon Warrior, the title everyone else spent their entire lives working toward, given to someone who wasn't even in the room on time. Someone who wasn't even supposed to be there. It doesn't feel earned. It doesn't feel planned. It feels like a mistake. And that's exactly how everyone treats it. Not as destiny, but as an accident. Because when Po looks at the Furious Five, he doesn't see teammates. He sees proof that he doesn't belong there. Tigress is disciplined, focused, controlled. Everything Po isn't. The others are calm, precise, experienced. They've trained for years, sacrificed for this moment. They earned their place. Po just fell into it. And that difference isn't small. It defines how everyone sees him.
If you have any respect for who we are and what we do, you will be gone by morning.
And the movie doesn't hide it. Every training scene is uncomfortable. He can't keep up. He doesn't understand the rules. He doesn't even understand what's expected of him. He tries to copy what they do. He tries to match their movements, their discipline, their focus. And every time, he fails. Not slightly, completely. Again and again and again. And for most of the film, it looks like everyone else is right. He shouldn't be there. But here's the thing the movie never says directly. Po wasn't chosen because he was already great. He wasn't chosen because he fit the role. He was chosen because he didn't. Because he brought something completely different. Something the system didn't account for. The Furious Five trained to become perfect versions of a system. Every move refined, every weakness removed, every mistake corrected. They became exactly what they were taught to be. And that works, up to a point. But it also creates limits. Because when everyone follows the same path, they all end up thinking the same way, moving the same way, reacting the same way. Po doesn't fit that system at all. And at first, that looks like a weakness. It looks like failure. It looks like proof that he doesn't belong. But what if that's not the problem? What if the problem isn't that Po can't fit the system, but that the system was never built for someone like him?
I've got no claws, no wings, no venom. Even Mantis has those thingies.
Look at how Shifu trains him in the beginning. He doesn't try to understand Po. He tries to fix him, to reshape him into something familiar, something controlled, something predictable, discipline, repetition, control, the same formula that worked for everyone else. And Po fails, completely. Not because he's lazy, not because he doesn't care, but because none of it connects to who he is. And then something changes. Not in Po, but in Shifu. He stops trying to force Po into a system and starts trying to understand him. And the answer isn't complicated. It's not hidden. It's been there the entire time. Food, the one thing Po has always loved, the one thing that always motivated him.
I just thought you might be Monkey. He hides his almond cookies on the top shelf.
Not strength, not technique, not tradition, food. The thing everyone else dismissed as a weakness. And suddenly, everything clicks. Because for the first time, Po isn't trying to become someone else. He's using something that already belongs to him, something natural. Po doesn't become someone new. He becomes more of himself. His movements change. His confidence changes. His energy changes. Not because he mastered the system, but because he stopped trying to. He fights differently. He moves differently. And that difference becomes his strength. Now look at his opponent, Tai Lung. Disciplined, precise, relentless. Everything Po isn't, and everything Po thought he needed to become. Tai Lung followed the system perfectly. He did everything right. He trained his entire life for one goal, to be the Dragon Warrior. And that's exactly the problem. Because when that goal is taken away, he has nothing left. His identity wasn't built on who he was. It was built on what he was supposed to become. And without that, everything collapses. Every sacrifice, Every moment, every effort suddenly feels meaningless. When Tai Lung opens the dragon scroll, everything stops. This is the moment he's been waiting for his entire life. The answer, the secret, the thing that was supposed to justify everything. And there's nothing there. No secret, no hidden power, just reflection.
It's nothing!
And for Tai Lung, that's the end. Because if there's no secret, then everything he sacrificed means nothing. Everything he built his life around was empty. He needed the scroll to prove that he was enough, and when it doesn't, he breaks. But when Po looks at the same scroll, he doesn't break. He laughs, not because it's funny, but because for the first time, something makes sense. There is no secret. There was never supposed to be one. The power was never hidden somewhere else. It was always him.
Skadoosh.
That's why Po was always going to win. Not because he was stronger, not because he trained harder, but because he never needed something outside himself to feel like enough. Even when he doubted himself, he kept going. Po didn't win because he became someone else. He didn't win because he perfected the system. He won because he stopped chasing something that didn't exist and started becoming who he already was. And once that happens, there's nothing left to prove.